Okay, happy last Saturday of May. Can you believe we're June already? I do love the end of the month though, because in the beginning of each month, all the book clubs announce their next pick. So I am anxiously and not so patiently awaiting to hear what Reese Witherspoon and Jenna Hager and all these fancy book club people announce, because I usually like to read what they're reading, just to be up on things and see what people are reading. So they should be announcing those this week, early this week. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about one book that I read, in a physical book that I read this past week, but mostly I've been reading a lot of ebooks because those are the ones I've been getting assigned to read for my blog. I'm really sick of digital reading, to be honest. I really like it. Before COVID, I was a big fan because I can always take an iPad full of books everywhere, but I'm really overstimulated with digital reading right now. So for my book talks, I really feel better holding a book. So I'm only going to talk about one book today, and then I'm going to give you my often imitated, never duplicated, you should read these 10 books you don't want to miss for summer list. That's the official name, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I've never done that before, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so the first book I'm going to talk about, well, the only book today, is Not Like the Movies by Kerry Winfrey. And here's another amazing cover for a rom-com. I just do love these cartoonish-like covers. Kerry Winfrey has another rom-com that I've read that's also really good. It's called Waiting for Tom Hanks, and it also has an amazing cover. Also a rom-com, very good. You should check it out. You don't have to read them in order. They don't have any characters that are, overlapping or anything. They're both complete standalones. She's also written some young adult books that are pretty good. So if you want to check her out, you can check her out. So I got this book from Berkeley, and I was really excited because he sent me like a box of romance books to try out. And she said, what happens when your life is a rom-com, but you don't even believe in love? Chloe Sanderson is about to find out that not believing in love is the #1 indicator that you're about to fall in love. So even if she isn't sure her story will end in a happily ever after. That's what the editor said when she sent me this. So this is a story of Chloe Sanderson, and Chloe's best friend Annie is a screenwriter. So she's just written this movie that's just about to premiere, and it's getting a lot of hype, and it's kind of made Chloe famous for all the wrong reasons. So her best friend Annie has written a rom-com about Chloe's life and the coffee shop that she works and the owner, Nick. And her best friend, Cooper, move along, please. Oh my gosh. Her best friend didn't even change the names, really. In the movie, she named them Zoe and Rick. I mean, come on, Chloe and Nick, Zoe and Rick. So it's not hard to find out who she based her movie off of. So this movie's gotten a lot of hype, and it's going to be really popular. Everybody's going to love it. But Chloe's not so happy about it because it's brought her into the limelight. And also it's made her feel very uncomfortable with her boss, Nick, who she's always kind of really liked, but she doesn't really know how to tell him. And also they're such good friends, and he's always there for her, that she doesn't want to cause any waves. So one moment, please. Cooper, go upstairs. Oh my goodness. He just wants to be on the camera, I guess. Okay, so where was I? Okay, this takes place in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, which is where Kerry's from. And so she knows the area well, so it's really cool to have it set there as well. It's a university town, so there's some funny things about a guy that Chloe dates for a while that lives on campus, pretty much on campus, and acts like a college kid, even though he's not. So Chloe's worked in this coffee shop for a very long time, and the owner, Nick, is this brooding hero, handsome, just kind of quiet, real nice. Everybody loves Nick, but he's kind of quiet, so nobody can figure him out. Chloe loves to bake pies and other things. She bakes a lot of special treats to sell in the coffee shop, and her dream is to open her own bakery someday. The problem is her dad has Alzheimer's, and he is in a home where he can be taken care of because she can't really take care of him full time. So she feels kind of bad about that. She does visit him all the time, and other problem is her mother left them when she was younger, took off, so she doesn't have anything to do with her mom. And then her twin brother is kind of, he's gay, and he has a boyfriend, but he's also a Peter Pan. I'll never grow up. I'll never grow up. He's just kind of floating through life doing what he wants. So he obviously doesn't share the responsibilities with Chloe for taking care of their dad or even visiting their dad. He hasn't even lived in Ohio for a long time, but him and his boyfriend come and live and move in in Columbus. And so now Chloe's got him to deal with, as well as her dad. And this movie premiere is coming out about her life. And people are like, oh, you're coffee shop girl. And she's like, oh, great. So she's got this real awkward tension with her really good friend, Nick, the owner of the coffee shop. So you can imagine how awkward this is for her. Well, then they have a moment. They have a kiss. And they're like, oh my gosh, we can't do this. This can't happen again. So that's how it starts. So I'm not going to tell you much more about it because it's really hilarious what happens after that. Fans of Jasmine Gilroy and Emily Henry will really love this book. It's a quick read. It's charming. The romance is very subtle. It's not heavy duty. It's kind of closed door kind of thing is how they call it. The plot is adorable. There's characters that are really charming. Her friend Annie's really charming. Her brother Milo's really charming. And then there's some hilarious characters, kind of secondary characters that'll have you laughing out loud, like Gary. He's a regular at the coffee shop. I mean, he's always there. And as such, he's in Chloe's business and he's in Nick's business. And he just makes these funny comments. And he can see the writing on the wall from the very beginning that, like, there's definitely something going on between Nick and Chloe. But why don't they just get over themselves and go with it? So Gary's really funny. You're going to like him. And then for a while, Chloe decides to date this guy because she wants to, like, get away from thinking she's in love with Nick. So she dates this guy named Mikey Danger. He actually changed his last name so he could be called Mikey Danger, and he's a grown man. This is also the gentleman, if we can call him a gentleman, that lives pretty much on the college campus. So Mikey Danger is really hilarious too. So yeah, you're really going to like this book if you like a rom-com. It could be a perfect movie, even if it's called Not Like the Movies. Her books both could be turned into really cute movies. So there you go. All right. Now then, I shall switch gears. Okay, so like I said, I haven't read any other physical books this week, just ebooks. And since I don't have them in my hot little hands to show you, I feel weird book talking an ebook. Sorry, ebooks. So I'm going to give you a list. So if you have a pencil, paper, or if you just want to, soak it all in and maybe write it down later, you don't have to write it down. I'll post it. I'll post the list with the video. So these are 10 books that I'm really excited to read, or that I've recently read. I'm not going to give you that many that I've recently read because I've already book talked most of them. But these are books that I will read probably in June, and I think you should read them too. Some of them I have on hold at the library, so I'll mention which ones are already published and all that good stuff. Okay, and thanks for joining me, guys. I see all of you hanging out there. Thank you. Oh, yes, and Cooper, I think, went upstairs, my little visitor. That was quite funny. Okay, so the first book is Beach Read by Emily Henry. If you haven't been living under a rock and you follow anything about books, you've probably seen Beach Read come up in some fashion. It's a cover with the beach towels and it's bright colors. It is so good. It's about two authors that are living in the same small coastal town, and they're both trying to write a book, and they decide they actually knew each other from college, and they had these total, they thought they knew how the other one was, but they were totally wrong on so many levels. So once they get to know each other for real and don't have all these assumptions about the other, they decide to help each other out because they both are suffering from writer's block. The gal writes rom-coms and the guy writes serious literary fiction. So they're in town and they do this book tour and they help each other out. Well, it's just adorable. You'll love it. Beach Read. It's subtle romance, but a really good story about family, friendship, all those good things. Next up, Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner. Jennifer Weiner's books are very heavy duty on family and friendship. And Big Summer is about a gal who's a larger gal, and she is having an amazing summer and beach, and it's hilarious, like all her books. And she doesn't hold back. Jennifer writes it like it is, and I love her honest portrayal of how things really are. And how women really are. It's an empowering book. It's really good. So Big Summer. I know the libraries will have that one already because it got released May 5th. Beach Read's already released as well. Next up, my personal favorite author of all time is Ellen Hildebrand. And she writes the amazing summer read beach novel. She lives on Nantucket, so all her books take place there. And it's called 28 Summers. I've read every book of Ellen's so far, and I'm about, let's see, a third of the way through it already, and I can tell she's going to rip my heart out and put it back in again, like always. But this book is so different from what she's written before. It's very good, and it comes out June 16th, so you definitely want to get a hold of that sucker. I'm reading it on ebook, which I really want the book to hold, but I'll be okay. I might have to buy this one. It's so good. Next up, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. This book is easy to recognize. It has peaches on the front, and it's by Grady Hendrix. And I normally probably would have been like, that's weird. I'm not going to read that. But I've heard so many good things about this book, and some of the Bookstagrammers that I talked to a lot said it was fabulous. It's a really good book for book clubs because it's about a book club. So obviously there's vampires, so it's obviously kind of not realistic. However, it's done really well. And it's about this Southern book club, bunch of ladies. I think there might be men in it too, but they decide that someone in their town is a vampire, and apparently it's hilarious. So I can't wait to read that one. It's already published too. Next up is Valentine by Elizabeth Wetmore. Valentine was one of the books that Ellen Hildebrand recommended. I always keep up on what she's reading because she's the queen, and if she's going to read it, girl, I'll read it too. So she said it's one of the best books she's read this year. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to read it now. So Valentine by Elizabeth Wetmore. I don't really know much about it other than it's literary fiction, realistic, and Ellen Hildebrand gave it a stamp of approval, so let's do it. Next up, this is another good summer beach read, All Adults Here by Emma Straub. This one was chosen as Jenna Hager's Jenna's book club for May, so it's already published. Emma Straub writes a lot of family-heavy dramatic novels, so I assure you this one will be as good as her others. Next, Party of Two by Jasmine Gilroy. Jasmine Gilroy is great with multi-racial characters and relationships. She wrote one that was a Reese Witherspoon book club pick, The Proposal. It was about baseball and two unlikely people meeting and getting together. It was amazing. It was one of her early picks. So Jasmine's written The Proposal, and then she's written The Wedding Date, The Wedding Party, all really good books. They're definitely romance, and they're so good. Very readable, quick, lovely. Party of Two is about a political candidate meeting this gal, kind of serendipitous meeting, and then the ensuing relationship that's long distance and media heavy because of the political climate. So I've heard amazing things. I can't wait to read that one. And the cover's got a lot of red, white, and blue on it, so it's fabulous. I wish I had the cover to show you. You can look it up. Next is Island Affair by Priscilla Olivares. I haven't read this one yet, but I've heard amazing hype about it as being a great beach read. The front cover has all these tropical flowers on it, very bright. So yeah, if you ever judge a book by the cover, I'm sure you could pick this one up if you want a summer book. And it's a little bit on the romance side, but it's literary fiction. Last two more. The next one is Reese's May pick. It's called The Henna Artist by Alka Yoshi, and that's Joshi. And it's a literary fiction. I don't know a whole lot about it because I have been on the holds list and I haven't got it yet, but I know I want to read it. I believe it's not a historical fiction, but it's definitely an atmospheric novel. I feel like you're taking a little trip. So an escape read, if you will, an escape beach read. So definitely want to read that. And then last but not least, The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This one is a mystery, sort of psychological thriller-ish book. I really like those. I kind of waffle between rom-com and those, which is really weird because they're so different, but those are my two favorites. And my friend Crystal just finished The Guest List and said, you have to read it. So I will be reading that. So thanks for that recommendation. So there you go, 10 books I'm excited to read. If you guys have any books you are excited to read or any that you've read recently, I would love to hear about it. I'll post a list of these books on my page with the video so you can refer to them. And like I said, most of them are already at the library, other than 28 Summers. So yeah, I think, and Party of Two hasn't come out yet either, but the rest of them are already at the library for you to look up and check out. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you have a great day, and let's hope I can get some more physical books read this week so I can hold them and talk about them next Saturday. All right, see you guys later.